This is Mark Godwin Iwejuwan reporting for Schengen Story Media, and this is our news roundup for the 23rd of August 2021. Here with me to discuss occurrences, news, and give analysis to what is going on are my great partners, coordinators for the Schengen Story all around Europe. With me is my very good friend, Chuma Ebomuche from France. Chuma, you're welcome to News Roundup.
Good morning, presenter. Thank you so much. Good morning, viewers.
Yes, also covering from the UK, Bedford is our great political analyst, Mazi Godson Azu. Mazi Godson Azu, you're welcome to News Roundup.
Thank you very much, my dear, very good friend, Mark Godwin. It's my great pleasure, and it's been lovely here in the United Kingdom. The weather has come out very beautifully today, a lovely sunshine, and I hope you're having same over there in Italy and in France.
Yes. In fact, it's getting hotter, and we heard that it might be also very hot in the UK a couple of weeks to come.
Yeah, That's right. And
France also is experiencing some heat wave. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're experiencing some heat waves starting from today, but we hope it's not going to get too hot for us. We
hope it's not going to get too hot for anybody. So I'm giving the news roundup all over the world, and we'll come back to discuss all that has been happening as human beings live on Earth. Yes. So from Nigeria, there is a great a story that the governor of Benue State, Otom, threatens legal action against federal government. From Greece, in Europe, we hear that there is a Finnish wall on the border with Turkey amid fears of Afghan migrants coming in. Also from the Middle East, we are hearing the story of Afghan taking control, the Taliban taking control of Afghan so fast. They are taking control, and even the borderline that American soldiers have created, they are breaking it and coming in. News roundup around the world. In the UK this morning, we've heard also that the foreign minister is responding to UK plan to set up an asylum center in Turkey to the Afghan situation. So the UK is trying to set up a refugee center in Turkey. Also from the UK, we are hearing that the Prime Minister Boris Johnson is pushing Biden to extend the deadline date, the extension date to finally leave Afghanistan. Also from America, we're hearing of a firefight involving Western forces that is erupting at the Kabul airport. From America again, we hear that Vice President Harris says America is similarly focused on the Afghan situation. From the UK again, there is the news that the Taliban have warned of consequences as UK troops have hours to evacuate their soldiers and their people. So Taliban is warning the UK government of swift evacuation of their people. So news roundup, Schengen Story Media. We also have news from France. The sport Nice-Marseille game that has been abandoned after bottle throws and some fights, that is in France. There is also the news coming from the UK again of the Love Island fan going wild for the entertainment in the Love Island series. That's a program that used to air in the UK. So we have all this news going around the world, and what we do is take a bit out of them and also give you back this news. So we're coming back to the studio now, as we begin to discuss situations, occurrences, and all news updates. So, Mazi Azu, what is situation like in Nigeria? What is the security situation in Nigeria? Can you please bring us up to date? Mazi Azu.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear
Hello,
you.
sorry.
Mazi Azu, we can hear you. Can you bring us up to date with security situations in Nigeria, please?
Yeah, I mean, it's very obvious that the security situation in Nigeria is still very, very dicey, still very unpredictable as a result of the fact that there are so many attacks, incidences that has occurred in the last 1 or 2 weeks, most especially in the north central and still northeast zone of Nigeria. As at yesterday, there were a series of banditry, as they call it. I always tell to people that banditry is nothing different from armed robbery and a thief. And for the Nigerian government to giving them this wonderful fashion parade name, banditry, is uncalled for. These people should be regarded as armed robbers and terrorists, and should be called as such. They are terrorists, not banditries, because they go all over the place, killing and maiming people, destroying homes in Zamfara, in Katsina, in Kaduna. As at yesterday, there were hundreds of people rendered homeless, many of whom were killed. There's another incident that has been ranging very, very challenging now in Plateau State. The sudden has been narrated killing of some Muslim passengers somewhere around Barikin Ladi or Rukuba area, and Rukuba area in Jos North local government, and that has infuriated a kind of a retaliative action by some of these so-called Fulani and herdsmen and terrorists. As at this weekend, most southern state governors and some south governors have been mandating their security operatives or their special assistants on security matters to do whatever it takes to evacuate. You can imagine when a situation gets to the point where states within states are arranging the evacuation of their own indigents. States like Abia, Akwa Ibom, I think another state have sent their political office holders to Jos to find a way to evacuate all Abian students in studying in the University of Jos. Akwa Ibom state government has also done so, sending people to Jos to find a way to evacuate Akwa Ibom state students studying in University of Jos. So many other states are doing the same because of the rumor that there is going to be a very serious attack on students, and the safety of the student cannot be guaranteed by the governor of our Plateau State nor the security operatives. And so it's becoming a really serious challenge. And also the state of instability that has been ravaging the Southeast with regards to the activities of the Eastern Security Network and the IPOB militant arm of this
Yes.
agitative organization.
I was going to say that this morning the IPOB organization said they won't enforce the sit-at-home instruction that was given before. So what does that mean? Is it that Monday sit-at-home will be scrapped? Are they gradually scrapping it off if they are saying they won't enforce it again? And people should be careful of people that come to force them to stay at home. That's the news we had this morning. So what are you saying about that?
Well, I think it's all about the feedback from the masses and also the concerned citizens in the Southeast. The obvious fact here is that if you ask people to sit at home, who is going to take care of their welfare? Who is going to look after their well-being? How do they make up for whatever they need to do to be able to keep themselves at home? Sitting at home is like in the Nigerian context, it's like breeding another new group of people out of idleness. When people sit at home doing nothing, the next thing is they become an instrument of destruction or an instrument of reaction. And so keeping people in active mood deprives them from wanting to engage in other evil acts in the society. And so I think IPOB, like somebody said, they need to change their strategy. They need to reorientate their methodology of engagement and reacting to issues that pertain to sub-regional issues or national issues. And I think by giving people the opportunity to decide if they want to sit at home or not sit at home should be a choice, and those who want to do it should do it voluntarily, and those who don't want to do it should be allowed to go about their day business. Because if 95% of people in the Southeast, if they don't go about their day-to-day activities, nobody pays them wages. Nobody's going to pay them their salary. Now, they can't make money. And so
thank you. In the midst of all the political insecurity, in the midst of all the mayhem we are seeing in Nigeria, my good friend Chuma, you still have activities going on as if there is nothing. What is it that was happening in Kano during the weekend? And what are some new political activities that we're seeing? The vice president's poster all over everywhere. Can you bring us up to date with that situation, my friend Chuma?
When we come to what is happening in Nigeria, in the Kaduna State, we are seeing posters of the vice president moving around everywhere that he's coming up to contest, which has not been verified. We are yet to verify whether he is the one that is sponsoring this. But we know that some people will always want to, cash in any situation to see what they can gain from it. There's already tension going on whether the presidency will be ceded to the west, to the south, or they will still stay in the north. And then the Easterners are also saying it's their own turn to rule. So we don't know where the poster is coming out from. Just as we are also looking at what is going on over there, so many people that were kidnapped, some that were released after paying some ransoms to them. And then others that are still being shot at. We are really asking, if we are in a situation like this, are we not to be protected? Does it mean the bandits who, according to my colleague, as who has said, bandits who are robbers and whatever you might call them, because they're going against the law, are they more powerful than the Nigerian security? Does it mean that the Nigerian security cannot find them out and deal with them the way they have been dealing with other people from other parts of the nation?
Yes,
So
that's a important question. Also, during the weekend was the wedding of the son of the president of Nigeria. I'm bringing everybody into this now with the COVID situation that has been going around in Nigeria lately. There has been increase in COVID infection, and we saw that gathering, large mammoth crowd gathered in one place. Is that not like a kind of hypocrisy from the government if they announce COVID restriction for other people, and yet there's that situation there in Kano? What will you say, Mazi Azu?
Thank you very much. I think it's an unfortunate situation, but irrespective of the fact that this is a celebration of a wedding of the president's son, but then it all turned out to be a political jamboree. It's all about politics, because some people are still wondering why so many politicians turned up at that event. Some from the opposition party and some from the party in government, and some of the key private business sector players were all there. I was made to understand that for the first time in many years, in Nigeria, in one go, over 20 private aircrafts landed in Kano with hundreds of billionaires and millionaires and money bags in Kano, just to celebrate the wedding of a 22 or 23-year-old boy with his wife and the president. And the former president of Niger was sitting down next to the president at the wedding. And you find most people you don't expect to see at such a venue are all attended. And this now opens a lot of discourse in the public space of what is going on. Is something happening that we don't know? Is something about to happen that this is just giving us a signal that this is how things are going to unfold in the next coming weeks, months, year. So I think that wedding is a showcase. We looked at Cubana's mother burial. I don't see difference between Cubana's mother's burial and what they did on Saturday. Irrespective of the COVID restrictions and protocols, none of that was observed, obviously, from the videos and the photographs that were made open and obviously to this public space. We see people clustering around, we see people shaking hands, we see people taking photos without no face masks, no 2 meters distance. And then obviously, we just hope that there is no fatality news from anyone who went to that wedding at the end of the day as a result of COVID infection.
Yes, I was going to ask Chuma from France. Chuma, was that not a dangerous security lapse that could have happened? Having all our leaders in one spot, who is advising them on such gathering? Because from what we study as in surveillance, you don't put everybody in one spot at a time like this. What about if Boko Haram or ISWAP or an external body strikes at that place? This is all of our leaders in one spot and all of our leaders in that casualty. So what will you say about that? You don't have that gathering in such a time like this in Nigeria. What will you say, Chuma?
Yeah, thank you so much. On that, I was actually discussing this with somebody yesterday. He said, first, if these people could gather together amicably without a problem, which means they know what they are doing and why they are setting up the whole tension in the nation. Nigeria is sitting on a gunpowder. All these Boko Haram and the IC West Africa and whatever that has been going around killing people at will, them coming together, not fearing what will happen, means actually they know their onions about this security something. Then when you look at it from the other angle, on the health area, Boko Haram or not, with this COVID that is spreading everywhere, and Nigeria, we don't even see the vaccination rate in Nigeria, which means all of them that have gathered together, have they taken the vaccine? If they have not, then this is a time bomb for the nation. What are they teaching us? What are they teaching the citizens? When they move around, one person that must have contacted the virus passes it on to another person. Check whoever that is there must have 10 to 20 people that follow him or her. Then the disease spreads. That brings out a big epidemic in Nigeria. It will become a pandemic. We don't have a good health grounds to handle all these things.
Yeah.
This way will actually be done, and then in a little segregated places, we know that they call people and pick few people. This is not something about politics, who is who, but we're talking about the health of the nation, security of the nation. If we are to lose this caliber of people, where will Nigeria be?
Okay. Thank you very much, Chuma. We're going to go on a break now. We'll take a few minutes break. When we come back, we'll be discussing the Taliban Afghan situation. We'll be discussing also some major events in other parts of the world, Haiti and the earthquake. The numbers are increasing. So join us, News Roundup, Schengen Story Media, as we give you the news that's making up.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Okay, welcome back again to News Roundup, Schengen Story Media. Yes, we are discussing news situations. We're analyzing events and what is happening around us. We here in Schengen Story Media we're interested in giving informative and accurate details of what is going on. So joining me this morning are my coordinators from the different parts of Europe. Mazi Azu, we are back again. Mazi Azu is calling from the UK. Chuma Ebomuche is there for us in France. So we're looking now into the Afghanistan situation. You all know that the situation there is serious. This morning there was a message coming from the Taliban government, saying that they have given America and UK till the date they both said that's a deadline of August 28th to make sure they are out of their region, or they will begin to enforce some measures. So Mazi Azu, how do you see this Taliban situation? How do you see what is going on? This is a shame to the Western world. It's a big slap also to America. After spending so much billions on Afghanistan, now we see that a decision of 21 years ago that was taken by Bush, the man Bush, that decision has become the worst decision for America with what is happening in Afghanistan. We have seen not very good things going on, people dying from stampede, trying to run to the airport, enter the plane, people crushing children, crushing women, and plus also ISIS springing up yesterday to tell the Taliban that they also want a part of the Afghanistan. ISIS, the other terrorist group, has now stood up. So there's commotion in Afghanistan, and that commotion could boomerang around the world. Azu, what are you saying about this? How are you monitoring the situation from the UK?
Obviously, this has come as a rude shock to some people, and to some of us who have been watching and following the international affairs and occurrences. This has just is just one of the assumed predictions of the reality that is about or is lurking around to befall Afghanistan if and when the American government makes a slightest of mistake, and the mistake has been done, and the reality has just shown itself. And I would say this is another foreign policy failure of the United States of America. This is another failure of a very bad security decision making by the United States of America. This can only be related or be compared to what happened in Vietnam. And we all know, those of us who studied international relations, we all know that the issues of Afghanistan has been there since the 1970s. The Russians tried and they failed woefully and they left. Britain went alone, they failed and they left. America came, and they came with a tactical strategy, using the Afghans themselves within their fold to fight against the Afghans. And then that led to the collapse of Al-Qaeda, in the rise of Al-Qaeda. Americans were part and parcel of the rise of Al-Qaeda in Afghan. And at the end of the day, they were able to subdue what they created. But unfortunately, they created a country which they were unable to bring about reconciliation, a true reconciliation between the indigenes of Afghan. Afghan have its various indigenous people, but these indigenous people are divided between the Taliban and the other side of the people who are running the government. But then America failed to negotiate or to bring to a reasonable conclusion an all-inclusive governance in the last 20 years. And I would say that American security agencies knew that this was going to happen, but unfortunately they didn't anticipate that it's going to happen so suddenly and so rudely within a short period of time. The plan to withdraw American soldiers out of Afghan, making it so obvious and so open, gave the Taliban the opportunity to regroup, to recruit, and to increase in their numbers. And they were sitting on the edge, watching and waiting at the best time to strike. And they saw the best time to strike, because obviously you can't tell me that the Taliban came all the way from the mountains into Kabul without firing one bullet, without a bloodshed, and they took over the presidential palace. That is not a very good story. The fact is that the Taliban were part of the system. They were in that palace as part of what was the working system of the palace. And it was those who were in that system that took over the palace and gave an escape route for the president to live peacefully. And so it's all about breach of security. It's all about conspiracy of governance. It's all about international conspiracy. Major security operatives from the US, from Britain, and from NATO who have a finger in the re-emergence of the Taliban in a very peaceful, calculated drama without sharing bloods.
Let me interject here with you. You're giving great insights. Thank you very much, Azu. But what this now means is some occurrences that might really blow to our face. This means also there in Afghanistan, billions of billion worth amount of equipment and arms and all these things that were taken in there are now in the hands of the Taliban, the wrong people.
The fact, if I may short here, the fact here is that one mistake, and I believe the Americans are being very cautious of it now. Is that the evacuation process, if not properly and sensibly handled, America will be aiding export of suicide bombers, the greatest unknown and unseen terrorists to Europe and to America. And they should be very, very careful the way they are welcoming refugees in the name of refugees, because they may be ending up importing killers of their own people in their own country in the name of humanitarian and refugee purpose. That's the only thing, because nobody can assure you the sanity of some of those people they are giving get away from Afghanistan.
Yes, well, Chuma, the plan is to have refugee camps around some parts of Turkey. There is one in Qatar, and they are not really bringing some of them to Europe. Chuma, what is Europe doing towards all this? There is an emergency G7 meeting coming up maybe before the end of this week. How are you looking at the Afghan situation? Chuma from France. How is
thank you. The situation in Afghan, that is a time bomb for me. If you look at the evacuation, you find out that the people that are living are the people at the childbearing age. This is more or less helping them to go over and start up in a new nation. Why must they be brought into America, Europe, Russia? Why not keep them in their area? As in there's Saudi Arabia, there's Qatar, there's Oman, there's Iran, Iraq, all those areas. Because these are people that don't welcome your kind of life. And you bring them in. And when they come, they're not ready to accept your situation. Now they have to force you to take to their own pattern of living, which is not the way it is. Politically, when you look at what is happening in Afghan now, most of the strong equipments Americans left behind have gone into the hands of Taliban, and the ICs are coming over. What are you expecting? Automatically, these equipments will be sent out to other places. This is a terror being breeded in the nation and then for the whole world. Most of these people that are moving out, like my colleague Azu said, they are time bombs. They might come in because they have been indoctrinated negatively. They will do so many harm to the people. So if they are kept within their regions, that will be so wonderful for everyone. Let them act within their areas, let them live within their areas, and then let others live the way they want to live. Now the women are crying because they have tested and experienced freedom. Walk around without covering your face. without, being restricted. Go to where you want to go to live a good life you want to live. Now they are forced to cover their faces, move around. That is still putting them back into slavery. You are keeping them. That's just like somebody taking 10 steps up and you're taking that person back to 0 steps. So how do you see it? It is not going to favor the world, actually, because most of these women, the way you see them, when they talk out of anger. They are not just angry at you, but they are angry at their situation. And when they come up, they pass that anger to their children. So politically, the power nations, Britain, France, Germany, America, they're going to have a meeting very soon. Biden has called for that, for the G7 to come together. They want to discuss how they are going to coordinate and see how they will handle this situation to save the world and save more people. Because Taliban didn't just arrive there. There must have been an underground work that's been going on. The way America left, I'm not so happy about that. I know that it was Trump that actually made the move to withdraw American soldiers from there, when America was supposed to have a real base there to curb all these. So let us see how they're going to handle all these things, how they're going to bring it down. We wait to hear what they are going to say about this situation. I know that my president, Macron, doesn't take this kind of things lightly. He believes in, that we should have equal rights. We should have, liberty of movements. And then you move around, free movements and free interactions with people. And you cannot force yourself against others. And he also believes that you must be able to put your nation in order. Stop waiting for us to come and do that for you. That is why he is there. And he's a very good man handling that situation very well. And I know Britain and Germany will do that the same thing to see all these things work out very well.
Very good. Also, the information on Saturday is that as ISIS, we all know the Islamic terrorist group ISIS. ISIS has sprung up. You know, there has been this fight between ISIS and the Taliban for almost 6-7 years now. And ISIS is telling the Taliban they are also going to have a part of Afghanistan. What will you say about that? This means a hot confrontation brewing up very soon. What will you say, as ISIS, Taliban? Now,
well, I think it's a very dangerous move. I think it's a very dangerous move, and I see another kind of innovative Al-Qaeda movement replacing the old Al-Qaeda way of life. Al-Qaeda by Osama bin Laden was a very dangerous terrorist movement that came at a time when many people were not very conscious of that kind of movement. And that has metaphors into ISIL. ISIL is a childbirth of Al-Qaeda. So it's just like moving 5 steps ahead of what used to be the situation previously. And so I also know that Taliban have been succeeding over the last couple of years in all their pursuits in Afghanistan with the support of ISIL, and at the same time there would have been a kind of an operational agreement in terms of if there is a successful takeover of Afghan's governance, ISIS will be compensated with some certain aspect of that governance, which is going to create, which is actually the alarming aspect, is the alarming aspect of the fear mongering that is happening in Afghan, leading to the mass evacuation or the mass displacement of people in Afghan, because they all understand that it's not only Taliban that is in this game. The ISOs are in this game, and the ISOs are more dangerous than Taliban itself. And if they are able to gain power and gain dominance, the ordinary person, just like the brother of the former president, the runaway president Gianni said yesterday that if the inevitable happens in Afghan, that the rich and the well-to-do will not be hampered, they will not be touched, they will not feel the impact. But the people who will bear the brunt are the ordinary Afghans who doesn't even understand what is happening or what is going on. And so the reason why you are seeing many of them trying to find a way out of Kabul, because they know most of them are going to be the scapegoat of the consequences that may fall Afghan.
Let's briefly look into a situation that is not getting much coverage, and that is because the Afghan situation came up, and that's in Haiti. The earthquake, the number of dead people in Haiti is increasing. People are realizing that many more people are buried under their homes, under the ground. Good friend, Obamuche, how are you studying the Haiti earthquake? What's going on in Haiti? Huma.
It's very touching. It's very, very touching. Apart from what has just happened, the earthquake has worsened situations in Haiti. The people are finding it hard to feed. Hunger is also killing so many, not just the earthquake. And then they need more relief to help save some more people. There are some areas you go to, you find out that there's nothing left. If you see the rubbles, or even the area a little bit outside, the houses are taken off. They need shelter. There's no shelter for them. There's no food, and accessibility is another problem. There's no good road towards these areas. These people are crying for one bag of food. You see people, fighting over it. The delivery that was made over there, some relief that came over that place, people had to start fighting for it. It wasn't well organized. Not that it wasn't well organized, but the level of hunger and then desperation to survive made everybody to go out to fight for whatever he wants. Now we are crying and begging the world from my own side, let there be more help coming to them. They don't have that enough equipment to clear up. Many could have been saved if there were enough hands to help within those areas. Look at the faces of those children crying. They are not just crying that they are hungry, they are crying for the future. This is a natural disaster. How did the government prepare for it? Nobody says we are going to have this. I don't know what the geologists were doing or how they saw all this happening. Many people tell you that these things are going to happen in so time. Did they prepare for it? Did they actually do anything to keep these things off from people? So we are looking at it from a different angle, where we have to see that safety first. It has taken them down, and it has broken down the nation. It will affect the economy. It will affect the lives of people. It will affect every other thing you can talk about. So it's for all the big world nations to come to their help. These are human beings also. Nobody prays for earthquake, but many of these countries are unprepared for this. And that is why it's affecting all of us.
Thank you. Good insights. God said, there was also during the week a very strong movement that resulted into a catastrophe. Migrants moving from France, from Cardiff, and from Calais to the UK. And the news is 40 of them drowned in the sea. How are you following that situation from the end, Mazi Azul? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that is a very it's a very saddening story. It's a very saddening situation. Just like sorry about that. Just like my friend Chuma said about Haiti. I mean, our prayers goes to all those that have lost their life in Haiti for this sudden situation in Haiti, and also this situation of migrant uh, migrant trafficking and migrant crossing from Europe into the UK has been an ongoing situation for a couple of years now. Obviously, this actually was part of the reasons. It was part of the reasons why Britain actually pursued the issue of Brexit to its rational conclusion, leaving the EU in order to tighten its borders. And I think the situation is becoming more and more dangerous, and the only way to sustain this or to maintain or control these migrant challenges is for the international community, the EU, Britain, to look into the crises that are resonating in Africa, just unending crisis in Africa, because when you allow countries to enter into internal conflicts, what you are creating is refugees. And when you create these numbers of refugees, they're looking anywhere. The only place they look to for survival is Europe. And Europe is just across the Mediterranean. And as such, you see a lot of people from even as far as Nigeria, as far as Sierra Leone, as far as Liberia, are all heading to Libya. And from Libya, they head up to Morocco or to Algeria. And then you see people coming from as far as even Afghanistan, even as far as Iraq and Syria, all heading up to Morocco or Algeria just to see how they can get the boat to cross over into Italy or cross over into France or Spain. And as such, their final destination is always the UK, where they think they can catch up with their extended families or friends or whatever. And that is putting a lot of pressure, especially in Dover, the English Channel boundary between Calais and Dover, which is French, the French side and the English side. So people are risking their life so muchly that the British government is increasing their border recruitment. They are recruiting more people as border agencies in order to police the entire length and breadth of the Dover, the English Channel end of the English, the British Isles.
Let me come in and say also, the attention has been more on the crossing from Libya to Italy, to the south of Italy. You know, we've always thought that's where the movement is going. But lately, there has been more movement from France, Calais to the UK, and a lot of debt also, because they are coming with these floating bags, floating quote lookalike bag, and it is causing real harm. We are experiencing real trouble there. Thank you very much, Maziazu. You've given a great insight to what is going on. Hopefully, more will not happen, because with the Afghanistan problem now, we're going to see more. We're going to be seeing more of such movements, refugees, people turning, putting themselves in harm's way because of survival, life. These are real serious issues. So finally, I want us to sit back and listen to this video. Then we all give our take. France and UK. I want us to listen to watch this video.
Shakri de Mokanga. Omiwere de Mokanga. Omiwere de Mokanga. Eye Ekoruwe. Ishakiri. Ọjọ́ ní wéwé. Òṣèmúṣirẹ́. Gbídàgbà jẹ́ kòròwé. Lórí ọmọọba Prince. Ṣẹ́wọ̀lì Ẹ̀míkò Ṣẹ́ṣọlá Ẹ̀míkò. Ọjọ́ ní wéwé tó ṣẹ̀múṣí wéwé. Lágbára wọn. Mo wá fẹ́ jẹ́ kòrónúwé. Kòkó ọ̀dẹ́ mi déhùn. Shakri de Mokao. Shakri de Mokao. Shakri de Mokao. Ajanwe and a fat joke, Ruger. Norigo, Hotere. Chola and Miko. Ajanwe. Shakri de Mitem. Come on. Shakiri de Mokao. Shakiri de Mokao. Mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kó rẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ dèrè o. Ọmọba. 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 Ọmọba.
Yes. So you all saw it there. That's the great event that took place in Warri. Warri is the south of Nigeria. Warri is a town inside Delta State. And Warri is one of a major producing section of oil section of Nigeria, oil and gas. There's a large deposit of oil and gas in that part of Nigeria. And the Warri normally have a king that has been on the throne, ruling the people for centuries now. Let me start with Chuma. Chuma, how do you see this wonderful event? How do you, were you able to watch it? Did you enjoy it? Because I was fascinated with the fact that even though it was a traditional thing, but it looked more like a godly thing, like a church ceremony. You know, there were beautiful songs of praise to God. The king himself prayed and sang to God. And we are seeing a different kind of monarchy thing happening in Nigeria. This is totally different from that very raw rituals that are normally done in time past. So what do you want to say about this? Chuma from France. Go ahead, Chuma.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is something to dance about. The thing was very, very colorful. It went to another level. First, if you take a closer look at the crown that was placed on his head, there was a cross on top of it, which shows his faith as a Christian, accepting the faith as a Christian. But first, we have to take a little look and a closer look at the young man to know where he has gone to and where he is today. He's 37 years old. He's a youth. And Nigeria is still looking forward to having people of this age coming to sit and to rule. This is a very big burden upon him. He's carrying a very big load. One, he was born 3 years before his father was made the Olu, 20th of the same kingdom. That's a good luck unto him. He just came and opened the door for the father. He himself, he went further. As a young man, he went and he studied in the United States. He studied international relations, majoring in history and economics. And that was in Cleveland University, West Reserve Uni, Cleveland. After that, he went in to do his master's in Case Westland, also in the Reserve University in 2007. Then 2008, he came back. He worked in National Petroleum Investment Management and Services, Sahara Energy, Shell Nigerian Closed Pension Fund Administration before he went in to open his own, which means that he has actually experienced a little bit of administration, and then he has tested what it means to be under somebody, and then what it means to also rule. That is where he is now. And then we used to remember that in the olden days, we were told that before a king is coronated, there are so many sacrifices that are done behind, so many things that go on behind. Today, we are seeing a different thing altogether. Take a closer look at how he was coronated. All started from the church and then came down to where he is today. He sat on the seat. Yes, we have culture. We have tradition. Africa is noted for this rich culture and tradition. The only thing we are saying is taking away the fetish types of trying to sacrifice to some deities, which the modern youth, the modern Africans are taking away. But we are not killing our cultures and tradition, because without our cultures and tradition, we cannot be able to say where we come from and where we are. We cannot leave what we have and start following another person's culture and tradition when we know we are who we are because of what we are.
Thank you very much. Mazi Azu, are you with us? Mazi, is it possible to merge, to infuse culture, tradition, and still be church and still be spiritual in the aspect of Christianity? Is that possible? Can the new Africans that wants to be godly, they want to have Christianity in their hearts and in their way of life, but they find themselves in some cultural things, and they find themselves in some traditional rites that must be done. Is it possible to infuse these two things together? Can the new Africans infuse these two concepts into one? Azu, go ahead, Azu from the UK.
Well, obviously, I will tell you, infusing culture, tradition into Christianity has been with us for a long time. The difference is that in the past, it was done secretly. It was done as something that is not obviously open to many people that is happening. You look back at the relationship between the Ogbunis and the church. You look back at the history of what is happening between Freemasons and the church. You look at what is happening between the lodge and the church. They all exist. They all has been existing side by side. They've been working. It's like when you come to Igbo land, they say Arosine Joka. There are native doctors that still go to churches, and they are on Sundays. And then after service, they go back to their shrine to do their business. Obviously, you cannot take away the cultural element of an institution and impute the Christian faith completely on it without a divine revelation and intervention. And there are certain traditional stools or institutions that will require the striking element of the two sides of the spirituality, the principalities and the powers of the heavens, to agree on how that stool exists and remain in existence. You look at such stools like the Oba of Benin, such stools as the Olu of Warri, such stools as the Sultan of Sokoto, such stools as the Olubadan of Ibadan. These stools are revered because of the ancestral conditions And irrespective of what you are seeing in the public now, with the installation of Atuashe III, the new Olu of Warri, many things have been done. Sacrifices have been done. Some of them would have been done without his own knowledge, and some would have been done on his behalf, even him knowing, but he cannot participate. But somebody will represent him in that participation of that aspect of that tradition, because it must be done. It must be done to appease the gods of that throne, to appease the ancestors of that stool. If not, it will become a different thing. You understand? You can see he's not the first person who is proclaiming Christianity and Christ in a traditional stool institution. The Oni of Ife is also practicing similar thing. But then you look at what would have been done to get him to become the Oni. It's a different story entirely. But the fact is that we are trying, the modern day traditional rulers are trying to combine their spirituality in terms of their belief in Christ and managing the traditional elements of the stool in order not to offend the institution itself in another way. So I mean, for me, it's a great thing. I see young men assuming these positions of leadership in their culture, and you listen to the speech of the young man. You could see him you could see him also acknowledging the relationship between the spirituality, the culture, the tradition, and the politics of being in that throne, which means he understands certain things. And for him, he's just 36-year-old, a little bit younger than Oni of Ife when he came to the throne. So he still needs a lot of guidance. And those who are going to guide him are those people who are going to be helping him to do the traditional aspect of the managing of that throne. And then while he tried to manage the other aspect of his own spirituality with his Christian faith. And so it's a good thing in our modern society that we are having things like this happen. And I hope that other institutions around Nigeria, in the southeast, in the south, will begin to have such evolution in the way we manage our traditional institutions, and not to kill it completely, but to see how we can merge the reality together and have a peaceful coexistence and a peaceful reign of a traditional ruler and his community in modern society.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wonderful insight, wonderful discussion going on here. On this note, we wrap it up for News Roundup, Schengen Story Media. Thank you so much, my very good friend. Also, Mazi Azu, the king, the Olu of Warri, did something very, very interesting, very, very wonderful and amazing thing that has never been done. He revoked a curse that was a said curse. We didn't know about this. A curse that his ancestors had put on our country, Nigeria. He invoked that curse, and that's a beautiful start for the kingdom. And also, with having it in mind that the kingdom generates what makes up Nigeria. The wealth of Nigeria comes from that kingdom. So if that cause has been revoked, that means a new Nigeria is emerging. You know, the wealth and the prosperity of Nigeria is now blessed. It is not cursed again. And those are beautiful things to see and good information to know about. On that note, I want to tell my very good friends, Mazi Azu from the UK, our coordinator, that is really on point with information. He's there to break it down. Thank you, Godson Mazi Azu, for News Roundup.
My pleasure. My great pleasure.
Also, our coordinator in France, Chuma Bomuche, his eyes are on the ground. He has his binoculars on all angles of this world, looking out for news and good updates. I thank you, my great friends. So till next week when we come again, bonsoir.
Au revoir, à tout à l'heure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And